Greetings, people. It's Mr. Pull the Trigger yet again on another episode of Enlightenment series. As back as we are today, I'm going to expose the first culprit, the first charlatan, the first suspect. These are not suspects. These are actually the people behind the setup that they did to me. These are the people behind all the plot to take me down and to make me disappear. These are the people behind the detainment that I had to go through for the past 7 days under harsh conditions. And this is the first one, the very first one of them all, whom I think is the mastermind of everything. He is the mastermind, but he collaborated with the other charlatans because he does not have the financial capacity to pull something out like this. He had the idea. He engaged. He probably engaged with someone here in South Africa because he's a regular here in South Africa, this charlatan called Isaac Idahosa. They call him Bishop Isaac Idahosa. He is the one who was the runner for this whole thing. But for it to go through the testimonial, this testimonial, I believe you me, it was done by either Jeremiah Omoto's people or by Chris Okafor's people. So I'm going to give you the chain of how this happened and why I'm suspecting these people. After I give you the reasons why I'm suspecting these charlatans, and then I'll give you the full experience, my full story of what happened. And then you can connect the dots, and then we can start hitting on charlatans and other charlatans. And then you start bringing more information to expose these charlatans. Believe you me, when we are done, there must not be no single shrine left to fool people. There must not be no single shrine left to deceive people. The biggest mistake that they did was to set me up the way that they did, because they made me have a new revelation that what I'm doing is affecting them. And when you get that kind of a confirmation that what we are doing is working, then we have to keep hitting hard. We don't have to stop. Someone said, is it a career? Is it a ministry to expose people? Yes, it has suddenly become a ministry. It has suddenly become a career. As long as these charlatans still believe that lying to people, prophesying lies, and doing all these shenanigans that they're doing is a career, and then this might as well be a career. Whenever there's a problem, a new career comes out. And here we are having a problem of falsehood in the church of God. We are having a problem of false prophets in the church of God. So we have to come up with a career that can fight this falsehood, that can expose this charlatanism. And I'm expecting to have more brothers and sisters that are willing to take this fight forward so that we just nullify this whole prophetic nonsense. It's nonsense. This prophetic thing is nonsense, utter nonsense. It is not approved by Christ. It is not of God. It's not biblical. The prosperity gospel is nonsense. It's garbage. The prophetic ministries are garbage, are shrines. They're not of God. Anyone that calls himself prophet running a prophetic ministry, just know that that person is not from God. He's a charlatan. It's a bloody charlatan. He's a liar. He's a thief. He's a robber. So let me give you the profile of the first charlatan, the first vagabond that set me up, and why I think is the one that set me up. But for now, let me give you his brief history, where he's coming from, so that we know who we are dealing with, so that you know the vagabonds that we are dealing with. This one is a pervert, this one called Isaac Idahosa. He's a loose prophet, very loose. He's forever sleeping with young girls. He's forever in the dresses of young ones. His church members, his wife's pastors, all over. He's all over, spreading his charlatanism through the sexual rituals. That's Isaac Odiri Idahosa for you. So let me read for you. This information is coming from someone that worked very close with him from when he started to where he is now. But I'm not going to disclose the identity of the person for her or for his security, because not everyone can stomach this kind of threats that I get. Not everyone can do this. That's why God has to select one or two. And I'm willing to take the fire for it. So listen to the testimonial, listen to the background history, to his original biography, not the one that you see on the internet. Everything else that you see on the internet, it's all managed, it's all cooked to make them look good, to make them look holy, to make them look pure, so that they can fit well in this business of deceiving gullible believers. So let's go. Talking about Isaac Odiri Idahosa. He calls himself Bishop Isaac Idahosa. He's not related to Benson Idahosa. Benson Idahosa was a charlatan as well, but they're not related. I just want to make it clear so that most of you don't think they are related in any way. So he goes on to say, I just watched your latest video and I'm so angry with the names you mentioned. And the names I had mentioned are Isaac Odiri Idahosa, Johnson Sumen, Jeremiah Omoto, Chris Okafo, Shepherd Chipiliro Gama Bushiri. Those false prophets, all of those, they are false prophets. She goes on to say, I'll give you full information about two of them whom I know very, very well. The first one is Idahosa Odiri. That's his original name, but he's calling himself Bishop Isaac Idahosa now. I know Idahosa Odiri very, very well. Right from when he was in the northern part of Nigeria, before he relocated to Lagos. His first church in Lagos, which was located in Ijesha, Lagos, God First Ministries, aka Illumination Assembly, Ijeha, Lagos. She goes on to say, he committed a lot of atrocities there and fled to Ajao Estate, Lagos, where he started his God First Ministries, aka Illumination Assembly, Ajao Estate, Lagos. In Ajao Estate, he slept with 85% of the women who attended his church. He traveled with many of them to Dubai. He used them as sex slaves because he had chased his wife away for 4 years. That's Isaac Idahora Odiri for you. He also slept with all the 9 girls who lived in his house as so-called adopted daughters. So this charlatan adopts daughters into his house and he used them for sexual rituals. He sleeps with them, all of them, according to this information that I just received. 2 of them confided in me when they were looking for admission into higher institutions. That's what she meant to say. We met on campus. Whenever he was through with sleeping with the matured ladies who were looking for husbands, he forced his single male members to marry his mistresses because they were all overripe. They were overripe for marriage. He even used fake prophecies to lie. Thus says the Lord, brother C, you must marry sister J. So after he's done sleeping with all these daughters that would have adopted, once he's done with them, the sexual rituals is done with them for some period, prolonged period of time, he will now give those daughters to one of his spiritual sons that come to his church. And then he says, the Lord spoke to him. The Lord told him that, brother, you must marry this sister. And this sister was being slept with Isaac Idahora Odiri. This is molestation. This is sexual abuse, harassment. And I'm praying for a day when all of them come out to give out their testimonies of this nasty experience that they've gone through in the hands of these charlatans. They thought they were serving God by sleeping with them, not knowing that they were being taken through sexual rituals. That's what Odiri did. That's what Odiri still does. He sleeps with all the church members, all the young choir members. And then when he's done sleeping with them, he picks brothers in the church and say, marry this one. The Lord said so. Which Lord can communicate with a vagabond like Isaac Idahosa? Which Lord? Maybe they have their own God that we don't know, but not the God that sent Christ to come and save us. She goes on to say, or he goes on to say, some of his foolish protocols married his leftovers, while 2 sane protocols blandly refused to succumb to his pressure of marrying his leftovers, concubines. Some of his 2 protocols actually married these, these ladies that were being slept with Isaac Idahosa Odiri. But some said, no, we can't succumb to this nonsense. Thumbs up to you guys that don't fall, that don't believe, and that just don't fall for anything, that just don't marry because the charlatan said that thus says the Lord. Thumbs up to you. His own PA, as it then bluntly refused to obey him and married the most desperate of all his concubines, as at that time. One day, the lady cried out outside the church and threatened that if Idahosa Odiri's PA does not marry her, as Idahosa prophesied, she would open up that Idahosa Odiri has been sleeping with her countless times. Odiri did everything possible to force that his PA marry the lady, but the stubborn PA refused bluntly and was ready to leave the church. The smart guy later sold a very huge seed to Idahosa to use and settle the renting lady. So Idahosa slept with the lady. And then he promised that lady that my PA is going to marry you. But the PA refused. He said, no, no ways. I'm not going to do this nonsense. I can't sleep with a woman that you have been sleeping with all your life, that you have been using for sexual rituals. And Idahosa tried so much to convince the PA, marry her, that says the Lord. But some of these PAs, they know how dirty these prophets are. So they know they can't just be forced to marry someone that has been sleeping with a charlatan. So the lady that he had been sleeping with, after the PA refused to marry her, she went on to say, I'm going to expose you, Idahosa, that you lied in your prophecy, that the PA will marry me. Why is the PA refusing to marry me now if your Lord had told you that he's going to marry me? If that PA does not marry me, I'm going to expose you and I'm going to tell everyone that you had been sleeping with me. And Idahosa tried by all means to cover it up until one of the gullible, church members had to pull out money from his accounts and settle this lady so that she keeps quiet. That's how they always get out of their mess, by paying, by bribing. So they had to bribe this lady that wanted to expose these shenanigans because she had been lied to, that she'll be married by the PA, and the PA refused, and they bribed her to be silent. That's Isaac Idahosa Odiri for you. She goes on to say, after a series of uncomfortable sexual scandals, Idahosa Odiri fled Ajoa Estate and moved to Crown Estate in Aja Leki, Lagos. There he started his third ministry, which was called God First Ministries, aka Illumination Assembly, in Ado Road, Aja, Lagos. He switched from ladies looking for husbands to ladies looking for the fruit of the womb. He switched from ladies to praying and targeting ladies that were looking for husbands. But now he was targeting ladies that were looking for the fruit of the womb. You know, those ladies that can't conceive, that are having challenges to conceive, who are in desperate need of a child. Those are the ones now that he was looking for and targeting. And obviously his strategy was to manipulate them and tell them that if I sleep with you, you definitely conceive. I have the holy anointed semen that can activate your womb, that can bring fruition to your womb, and then you can start to conceive. That was his new target after he was done, targeting those ones that were in desperate need of marriage. Now he wants those ones that are married, but they're having a challenge to conceive. So he goes on to say, he screwed people's wives and fathered so many children for his members to testify. Wow. He uses voodoo powers to obtain money, cars, houses, etc. from people without them giving him those things willingly. He uses voodoo to make sure that people, give out things, that sort of, it's a manipulation that is psychological. It's hypnosis that you end up giving your car keys. You don't even know how you gave that car keys. You don't even know how you gave away your title deeds. But that's how he uses hypnosis to trick people with this voodoo spirit and these voodoo charms. So many people have given Idahosa cars. So many people have given Idahosa, houses and so many other things by this voodoo that Idahosa uses to trick them and manipulate them into giving him all those things. That's how he operates. He's an occultic charlatan, that one. He's a vagabond of the highest nature. He's a native doctor. He's a sangoma. She goes on to say, he casted a spell on the guy who gave him the current house he's living in right now, in VGC. So those who know Idahosa, is he staying in VGC? Could this be lies? Where did he get the house that he's staying in right now? Here, this person is saying that he casted a spell on that guy to give him that house that he's staying right now in VGC. Nigeria, VGC, are you there? This is the charlatan for you. Isaac Idahosa Odiri. He goes on to say, and he does not know that he is now my neighbor. He does not know that he is now my neighbor. I see him tiptoeing like a saint in his VGC while he scouts for new easy praise to hypnotize. If you want information about him, ask me. I will give you. I have videos of him and the lady that he harbored in the house during the total lockdown. I don't know if this person has not disclosed their identity or his identity by mentioning that he does not know that they are neighbors. But it's a good thing. Being a neighbor does not necessarily mean that you have to be adjacent to the Idahosa's house, or you have to be next, or you have to be a block under. You can be 10 blocks away and you're still a neighbor. You can be 100 meters away and you're still a neighbor. So it will take him a long time for him to figure out where this information is coming from. But with that being said, Idahosa Odiri, that's him. That's his profile. That's his profile. And the reason why I'm saying he is behind my detainment, is behind my capture, is because, like I have explained in the previous episodes, that Isaac Idahosa's videos were deleted from my Facebook. They were the first to be deleted, and they were the only videos that were deleted on my Facebook. And for that, Isaac Idahosa, you owe me. You have to pay me for all those videos that you deleted. Those were not your videos. Those were my videos that I recorded myself. You don't have the right to send people to delete my videos. That's illegal. That's very, very illegal. You don't do that. That's my property. I'm using my money, I'm using my time, I'm using my resources to bring out this information. So you have no right whatsoever to come and delete my content. Why did you delete it? You have to compensate for the damage that you caused. That's a damage. That's an illegal access to my privacy. We all have freedom of self-expression. So as you. So who are you to come and impede on my freedom to express my views and my opinions about your charlatanism and your falsehood? To the point whereby you instruct people to come and delete my content, my productions, just because you want to cover up for your silly crookery image, for your falsehood that you've been perpetrating in the Church of God for this long. That's the first indication that shows that Isaac Idahosa was part of it. And indeed he was. Because I had hammered him, I had exposed him to the core. And he couldn't take it. And he knows that what I'm doing is affecting his financial people that are here in South Africa. It's affecting his targets across South Africa, because once they know this information, they'll stop giving him money. And when they stop giving him money, he'll soon dry out and he will lose course. And his charlatanism will not be guaranteed to exist in the near future. That's why they don't want this information to be out. But yes, Idahosa Odiri is guilty as I have charged him. And I'm going to get to the bottom of this. And I'm going to make sure that his shrines all over, they close. His shrines, his deceptions, his lies are known to the world, are known to the Church of God. So that you people, you stop partnering with these charlatans. You stop making any contributions to these charlatans. Because every contribution you make to their shrines, then damage is being done to the Church of God. So this is it, your Idahosa Odiri for you. I'm going to expose each and every one of them. From Idahosa Odiri, I'm going to Jeremiah Omoto. From Jeremiah Omoto, I'm going to Chris Okafo. From Chris Okafo, I'm going to Shepard Bushiri. I want you to see their connections in this whole thing and what they've did, what role each and every one of them played in setting me up. So with that being said, it's Mr. Pull the Trigger. Don't forget to subscribe, please. Don't forget to subscribe. And subscription is not enough. There's an icon which is called the notification icon. Is it a notification bell? Somewhere, somehow. Just click it, that notification icon, so that every time I post, you get notified of my post, because I don't want you to miss this kind of information. It's going to help you. It's going to help so many other people. So subscribe, like, follow, and comment, engage. Let's hear your perspective. Let's hear what you think. Let's stand together. Let's come together. Let's participate. Let's fight this battle all together. And for real, we are guaranteed to win. We are doing this for Christ. We are doing this for the Church of God. This is not a personal vendetta against anyone, but this is a calling. This is a movement that we have to make sure that we push forward with it. Then we have to make sure that we get to where we want to be. Because our goal is simple. Our destination is simple. What we want to achieve is clear. We want to end charlatanism. That's all. With that being said, I'm out. Mr. Pull the Trigger. Check you out on the next episode.